Well, a little bit of a time jump here. I forgot to turn the camera on before I started working today, but I'm just going to show you what I got done. Back working on the Golf again, and hopefully most of the rest of the pieces should be here today, so should be able to get a good amount done soon here. So, obviously got the oil pan off, so the last one, and then got all the pistons pulled out now. So you can see all the way through. I pulled the turbo and manifold. You'll find if you're going to be working on it, you want to save the factory line. If you live up in one of these northern states, you aren't going to save the factory line. The nut seizes up on the line, and it's pretty much impossible to get free. So I just cut that. I have a new. You can get them on like eBay or Amazon, basically for the same price as a factory line, braided. Stainless steel braided line that runs from where it hooks up down here below the oil filter to the back to the turbo, and it's easier to run that braided line than this hard line, which just goes under and over 18 million different things. So that's what I did in the last TDI, is put one of those braided lines in. I liked it. It worked good, so put one of those in on here. The pistons taking off the rods, so ready for the new pistons to go in. New pistons are over there. Let's see, I got the exhaust studs taken off the head and put in on the new head, so that's mostly ready. Making an oily mess, but I'd rather them go in a little wet than going dry. Well, there we got 4 brand new pistons with rings in, new rod bearings and new rod bolts all in, all torqued down. I think now what I'm going to do is going to take and clean up that bottom oil pan gasket surface and get that all cleaned up, and maybe get the pan yet thrown back on this thing. But yeah, it's kind of starting to go back together. Alright, so got the oil pan back on the Golf. As you can see there, oil pan's back on. Just waiting for the silicone to seal up a little bit, the RTV. But here I show you the other thing, that you're going to be working on one of these TDIs. Be advisable just to order up one of those. That's the turbo feed line. Goes from right there around the block to the back to the turbo. And those are the ones that, at least in the northern climates like where I am at, always rust up. So you always end up having to cut it. So if you're gonna work on one where you got pulled turbo, just get one of these. They cost pretty much the same, sometimes cheaper than the original line, and they're a lot easier to fish around the head because you don't have to take anything out. You can just kind of fish it through. So there's my 2 cents. So gonna work on getting this cleaned up, ready to throw the head back on, I think. So woohoo. head gasket. Ta-da! So it's important to note, the engine right now is actually back probably several degrees of timing, which brings all the pistons down. So all the pistons are an inch or so, with an inch or more from the top of the deck height, so that just gives you a little bit of insurance room to make sure you aren't going to oops and have them bump into each other. Voila, new head bolts. And next is 2 stages of 90 degrees, or 180 each bolt, but it's going to be a heck of a lot easier to do it in 2 pieces. So that's what we're going to do. So, 90. ideally do it all in one motion. There's one set of the 90s done. Round 2. Well, got the head back on, head's torqued down. Even got the injectors shoved back in the holes. I gotta torque them down yet. Turbo's back down in there. It's got a new gasket between it, and it's not tightened down yet either, but it's in there. Slowly going back together. So, just gonna keep plugging away at it. Alright, well, working on get the engine all back in time. So, got the cam on there. The cam locking plate that doesn't fit super perfect in there, but it should hold in the right spot. This should be top dead center number 1. Then cam gear loose, like the proper way to do it. This gear, pump gear loose. The only thing you say is try to get it kind of center in its motion, because then you got adjustment both ways. Let's see. Got the timing mark down there. There will be a little, see if I can show you guys. If you look, there's a little bit of, it's hard to see, but a little bit of a notch. I'm going to put a little paint marker on it, I think, just so it's easy to see. But a little notch there, that's the timing mark for your crank. And then the other thing to note when you're putting these in here is, it's hard to see now, but there's that little ear right up there. That actually needs to be locked in there, otherwise you will have problems. So the ear on this tensioner was bent a little bit, so I'm wondering if that might have been part of the problem. So yep, let me get the timing belt thrown on there and see where all this goes. Well, there. Got a new glow plug harness all connected in. The harness I got came with the rest of the wire, but I didn't feel like undoing it, so I just trimmed off next to where the other one had been already replaced once, and soldered the new harness in, and then shrink tubed it. So yep, engine's all timed. We got the valve cover sitting here with the new gasket, kind of RTV in it in a few places, so it hopefully stays where it's supposed to, which it already isn't, but aftermarket, I tell you. But it's cheap, so. But yeah, just kind of slowly plugging away at it. Yet more progress made. Got intake on. Got a, let's see, nice little block off plate made there. Got the cooling line for the heater core rerouted. I gotta get this T removed yet. I have a vacuum plug now for that. And yeah, got the overflow tank and the reservoir for the power steering all in. These cooling lines all hooked up over here. Yeah, we're making some progress. Well, there. The engine is, well, in technicality, all back together. Minus, I mean, obviously this cover's off because I will need to get to the injection pump gear. And then some of the associated stuff there. And then there's one cover underneath that's not on it right now. But it is back together. Whew. So now I can start putting oil and coolant and stuff in it. And cross fingers, toes, and anything else that it really works. Well, it's the moment of truth. I got oil in it. I got some coolant in there. Coolant was slowly going down, so it's slowly working its way through it. But I guess it's time to give it a test crank and cross our fingers and toes and everything else. See what happens. Oh, that was supposed to go on the outside. I might move that quick, but and I'll see if I can find a spot to set up. All I got right now is my phone for a camera, so if I can find a spot to set it up, I will. Otherwise, I'll get back to you. Oh, that's one of those fans. Alright, let's see. Alright, looks like we're getting fuel at all the injectors. I hear liquid moving over here. Oh, that's right, I gotta check power steering fluid too. Yeah, we got liquid at all injector. We got fuel at all injectors, so I can tighten those lines up now. Sorry, I'm bouncing around a little bit. I'm just trying to go over any potential leak points. I got a little bit more coolant left. I'll have to get more. This is just what I got out of it, which I don't think it was full. So, yeah. Let's see if we can get... That might even try to fire it yet. We'll see. I think it's the make or break time. Let's, I guess, see if this thing does anything. runs! Woo! Alright, well, as you just saw there, it runs! So, I'm a happy camper. I got, obviously, a little bit of work to do. I gotta go get my scan tool and I can hook up so I can adjust the injection timing, because it definitely sounds like it's running either... I don't know, it starts pretty decent. If I remember right, most engines retard timing to start easy, so I'm assuming the timing is probably a touch retarded. But I gotta adjust injection timing a little bit, and that should smooth out the running a little bit. Seems like it runs good. I mean, all of these injectors, the nozzles I put in were $12 nozzles off Amazon. And the one review, they said that they couldn't get them to pop test. But it seems like it idles alright, so we'll see, I guess. But, yeah, thanks for watching. Sorry the video is kind of sporadic and not very well done, but I kind of got in a little bit of a time crunch, because the plan is for the wife to take this all the way to South Carolina in a week. So, yeah, needed to get it done. So, well, that's it. So, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like and comment on the video.